Okay. Um, it's crazy how my brain is, how they try to make me accept the manipulations. But the reason why I make videos is because I need to put things in perspective, and you gotta be strong. Um, in a sense of when I make strong, it's not physical strength, and I'm saying that on purpose because I know this purpose. Use children and childlike mentality and like, oh, you're strong. But the truth is, strength comes in the sense of strong in understanding what's happening to you. There is no way that I can identify with the manipulation I'm experiencing today. Unfortunately, I'm never going to be myself again, and what I'm going to experience is stimulations and sensation that I can be forced to experience because of this technology. And I'll be validated that this technology can make you experience these things. With me, they make me experience this nastiness and then try to make me accept this manipulation. That's crazy. And a lot of manipulation are happening. Matter of fact, I just looked at a child, and the baby looked different than the baby I saw before. There was a baby that looked like a toddler that's like 3 years old. So now this kid looked more like 4 or 5 year old kid. And then immediately it's like, oh no, 4 3 4 years old, that means that's you, and they give me sensation and stimulations that they want me to identify, making me think that this is something that I should be acceptive of because this is how I felt when I was a kid. Now I'm gonna show you what it is. But before that, I just want to say that thank you God, because the way we are validated are magical. It is clear that my mind is being rewired. It is clear that my brain is being changed. Even when they try to be logical, it's embarrassing how they try to make you think this is a logical way. The way they've been trying to make me acceptive of manipulation. Let me just first of all show what they've manipulated me and made me experience. I don't identify with these things. I experience it and I don't like to experience it, and I don't even want to look at a child because I know it's going to be manipulations in my brain and I don't want to deal with it. But I don't identify with it, right? I understand this is how they're going to make my brain experience things. This child with this baby in my head, they're making me experience things and try to find ways to make me accepting of it. Some of it is like me in my childhood, like really young too. We're talking about 10-year-old or something. So nasty. And try to make me accepting of this, forcing me to have some kind of reaction, stimulations, and then try to make me accepting of it. The thing is with them, they have this ability to make you experience things that they can make it seem like you experienced as a child, but also they can actually give you actual reactions of your memories. So they've been playing this game where like they make me, for example, I was watching this thing about Florida. They start giving me this feeling of me in Florida. And it's like, you see, that's true. I was like, yes, it's true. But this manipulation is falsified. They try to make you accept what you're experiencing today, but do whatever they can. It's like, oh, if this is true, then this is no. You are making me have this false reaction. I know this technology has the ability to give you feelings and emotion that you have experienced before. And also, they can create new experiences, new stimulation, or stimulation that mimics something that you didn't experience. For example, this this I will never experience this naturally, never. Not even when I was a child. I will never look at this kid and have this sensation that make me have today. But what they try to do, they make me have this experience that I felt when I was a child, but not because of that. They mimic as an experience you or have something that they want you to think that's you as a child. For example, when I was playing mom and dad, when I was a child myself, giving that feeling that you have, try to mimic that and say, no, that's what you're experiencing today. It's nasty. It is so foul to even try to make you accept these things. And you have this purpose. Their job, they're literally contracted. They are employed to make you experience these things. This is part of this cognitive warfare that we're part of. And they're supposed to make you accept these things. Now it doesn't even it gets to even younger, like babies, like this child, this baby, this adorable baby, this ad. Oh, beautiful. Oh, God. They made me have this stimulation, this emotion. And then because they have the ability to manipulate your emotion, your stimulation, they're like, oh, they caught you. And they start giving me this feeling of arousals, but with a hint of like, of being nervous. When you get like nervous, sometimes you can get like, can turn into something sexual, like you can feel sexual stimulation. They start playing with this kind of emotions. It's disgusting. I know that this is the way they manipulate me to experience things. They have been rewiring my brain, my thought process, to make me accept these things. And the part that I detest, but I don't even detest, the part that makes me aggressive is when you hear this childlike people they use. They like to use people who are mentally like children. Because it is draining on an adult, rational individual to having to damn themselves all the time. But they have to. This is part of the job. They have to be dedicated in this character. And I notice that when it comes to like this draining, depleting aspect of dumbing themselves down, they send the childlike people because they're children. They don't understand how illogical they have to make themselves be because they're already on the level of illogicalness. They're not there. They're not mentally. They're still. So I've noticed that they like to use children when they're being tired of sounding so childlike. And I'm talking about the adults. When it's just too much, and they're like, I'm tired to be acting such a clown. They send the childlike people. So when they force me to have this stimulation, and I have validation such as this, listen to this. This is when it's annoying to them because this thing that you hear clearly says that your brain is no longer experiencing things organically. They can make you have these reactions, stimulations, however they want you to have. Listen to this. Hold on. In my brain, they're having this battle, but this feeling you felt it when you were a kid, and they try to make me feel like feeling when I'm playing like mom and dad with this kid when I'm a kid myself. And there's all kind of rewiring happening into my brain to make me acceptive of these reactions I'm having towards these children that they've manipulated me to experience. Listen to this.
In order to remotely pick up on someone's neural network or EEG with the human nervous system, in order to remotely pick up on someone's neural network or EEG, and not only receive that and monitor it, but manipulate it and place it back into the victim to control their emotions or control their actions.
So, starting from this point, let me just say what this man said, and this is why it can be annoying for some of this more mature perps. This man said that, well, this technology, this EEG technology, has the ability to not only capture your neural network and monitor it, but it can manipulate it. It can manipulate your neural network and put it back in your brain for you to experience a specific reaction, emotion, and action that they want you to experience. Let's just listen back to this.
To remotely pick up on someone's neural network or EEG and not...
So, pick up neural network or EEG.
Not only receive that and monitor it, but manipulate it.
But not only receive that and monitor it, but manipulate it.
And place it back into the victim to control their emotions or control their actions.
And place it back in the target to control their emotions or action. You understand? That's like, what do you say to this? It doesn't end there. Listen.
Or bodily functions, for that matter. The other more recent term we have for that is EEG heterodyning or EEG cloning.
So there's terms for this: EEG heterodyning, EEG cloning. and please, I was struggling to say those words. I could only describe what was happening to me. But apparently they have a whole name for it. Listen.
Into the victim to control their emotions or control their actions or bodily functions for that matter. The other more recent term we have for that.
So there's terms for it that I've just learned how to pronounce properly.
Is EEG heterodyning or EEG cloning. The difference between EEG heterodyning and EEG cloning would be, let's say, me remotely receiving your EEG and then duplicating it and putting that in another person to give them your same thoughts or feelings or physical reactions. EEG heterodyning would be receiving your EEG, manipulating it to put it back inside your head to give us a desired physical reaction or emotional reaction.
So this technology can basically alter your emotions, your reactions, your thoughts, one way or another. This is things I've described before. Now, when they make me have this reaction toward these babies here, I'm recognizing these things. I will never have this reaction naturally. In my brain, the kind of emotions and reaction that make me have, or thoughts that make me have, is like, no, but you experienced that when you were a kid, and this is like, no, you're making me experience that today. And they try to mimic something that I experienced when I was a kid, but in a way where I'm like having this like mom and dad's playing time, when you're a kid. I'm like a grown ass man, I'm being forced to think these ways. And you have trash like them, so it's supposed to make you accept this thing. And the most disgusting part is how they want me to accept this thing is because when I was a middle school kid, I did this dumb thing to myself. I didn't have none of this stimulation they make me have. The stimulation they make me experience today, and they say they mapped it to, is me when I'm younger, when I'm like a 10-year-old, something like that, or 9-year-old. Then they bring up what I did as a kid as 13, 14 years old, where I just discovered something I did to myself. It's an impulsive act of a child that never happened again. And to try to make me imagine this kid they make me imagine doing what I did to myself as a child, but making me imagine that child be the child there, and make me imagine the version of what they wish happened. You hear this noise campaign. This is to try to box in these things. And I'm like, first of all, I'm not a child. So stop trying to make a grown man brain or forget it. Let me just not even call myself a man. A grown adult person try to make him believe that make that person believe that it makes sense to have the brain of a child. That's what they send these children. Because what kind of self-respect and grown person can do that? When you validate it, that there is a way to alter the mind, and they've been doing it.
Heterodyning and EEG cloning would be, let's say, me remotely receiving your EEG and then duplicating it and putting that in another person to give them your same thoughts or feelings or physical reactions. EEG heterodyning would be receiving your EEG, manipulating it to put it back inside your head to give us a desired physical reaction or emotional reaction.
That's the things they put in my brain. They just manipulate my brain one way or another, then try to make me accept these things. But whatever things they can use to try to make me acceptive of this manipulation, these reactions that are forced onto me, that I will not experience organically. But this is not the only thing that validates that they have these ways of manipulating the brain for you to experience degrading reactions.
Please watch, please. Brand. so this gets into what's called there are four different techniques. There are four different techniques and technologies that can pipe voices into an individual's head. And once you can do that, you can control them using neuro-linguistic programming techniques. You're rewiring their thought processes and brains. And so this gets into what's called offensive information warfare.
You heard that. And you heard me just talking a little bit there. It's just because they were doing some disgusting. It's the craziness of how they want you to accept this thing is crazy. But you heard that. They are rewiring the thought process and the brain. And this is like an offensive information warfare, in the sense that they make us experience disgusting reactions. So let me go back. When I'm experiencing whatever reaction they make me have toward this baby, or this baby, actual baby, this is because they're rewiring my brain to experience this nastiness. And you have purpose trying to make me accept these things. For this baby, matter of fact, the first time I saw this kid, in my brain, it looked more like a 3-year-old, but now it looked like an older little toddler, like 5-ish, 5-year-old. I thought it was like more than 3-year-old. I'm speaking right now. They're playing my genitals to make me accept these manipulations. And because it's like a 4 or 5-year-old, like, oh, no, that's true because remember what you did as a kid. It's like, no, I would never have this reaction toward this baby. And like, no, but remember what you did. It's like, what I did is an act of a child that just did something impulsive. But they know this. They know the reality of things. They're not here to try to tell you who you are. They know who you are. They try to change who you are. They try to make you accept the way you are seeing these children, which is rewired, manipulated for you to experience this way. As you heard, with this technological EEG cloning, EEG heterodyning, with this tactics of rewiring your thought process, rewiring your brain for this information warfare, or offensive information warfare. These are the nasty things they do. Then they try to make you accept anything. Then I heard this trash saying when I saw this kid, oh, she kissed it. Ugh. Because what I did as a child, they try to exaggerate and try to make me imagine something that did not happen. But wish that it happened. So they want me to imagine this child doing what she just said. It's so nasty. It's foul. Because they know they are forcing the brain of men and women to have this reaction toward children. And for me, when they make me experience that, like, no, abuse it, you abused it. No. What I did as a child is something I did to myself, but I never thought this way. It's just an impulsive moment of a child that never happened, ever experienced that that moment never happened again because it was just such an impulsive moment. Today, when I'm looking at babies like this, which they stimulate me in advance, the reason why I'm experiencing this is because my brain is being rewired. It's being manipulated. At one point, they say, oh, rewired, so we're rewiring your brain as a child. No. You're manipulating my brain. You're making me experience something that I will not experience naturally. My brain is being played with for me to experience this. If I was me, myself, as a human being that is a free-thinking human being, I will never have this experience. But today, I'm a guinea pig where my brain is used as a tool, not even as an object that they can play with to see what I can experience when they manipulate me in the nasty ways they make me experience things. It doesn't end that, because you just heard that they obviously do this rewiring of the brain, but the rewiring the brain is pedophilia-centric.
Because there's something called hyper game theory. How do you? They want to see if they can manipulate people to do things that are irrational, but also walk them to their death. And so even call it a eugenics program even. And they need to sample all cultures, language throughout the world to define the probability matrices of which tricks, techniques, deception works. So, well, it's happening because even though there is...
So you heard the trickery, the different tactics. Well, them try to figure out what tactics works. They were just used as different guinea pigs and figure out, okay, this is going to be the most disturbing portion. This is breaking that person that way. This breaking what trickery, what deceptive tactics are used. What you just about to hear is like this entity is doing this. Now, when you see these perps, you obviously they don't look like they're people working for the government, but they are just contracted by governmental entities in the DoD. These tactics are coming from this Department of Defense, and this not even this technology, everything. This program is coming from the DoD. These trash are contracted by these governmental entities to implement these tactics. So I'm getting these experiences, this stimulation. These people are then supposed to make me accept these things. I know these people next door who can never come, will never be able to develop any technology of that nature. Of course, it's coming from the DARPAs and the DoD of this world, which happen to have these kind of issues.
Is a certain amount of limitation on access. Those who are working in the Department of Defense, clearly it appears to be thousands of individuals in the Department of Defense, are finding ways around this, specifically by using the Department of Defense IP addresses and also apparently peer-to-peer sharing within the department's network. So this study that was done on this issue, and it is pretty horrifying, Manila, to consider this. It shows that the Department of Defense ranked 19th out of almost 3,000 networks in terms of peer-to-peer sharing of child pornography. That is absolutely incredible. This bill attempts to essentially say, look, we're not doing enough to stop it from coming in, but we're also malodorants.
So, you heard that these entities have so much issue with child porn that they were ranked 19th out of 3,000. While with this technology, this EEG cloning, herdining, which can rewire your brain, they can force you to have sexual stimulation toward children or have reaction and sensation that you will not experience naturally. But then for me, when they make me experience that, it's like, no, we mapped it to you as a kid. Don't you feel like you felt like that when you were a kid? So these people with top tier level of child porn being trafficked are forcing you to have sexual stimulation and reaction toward children using their technology. Toward babies like that, or actual babies. While it's recognized that this technology exists and this technology can not only monitor your brain, but literally is used to manipulate your reactions and stimulations and whatever thought process are being rewired. And matter of fact, what is happening to me is they're seeing what tactics of breaking down works the best. What stimulation and sensation they can implant, and then try to make me identify to this manipulation by saying, well, we're doing with your brain, we're just making your brain as a child. And then they're like, but remember what you did as a kid. You see? That's proof. When in reality, they do this pedophilia type of torture. They are forcing your brain to have these reactions, and you're a grown-ass person. Your brain should not ever be put in the brain of a child. There's a reason why children have children brain and adult have adult brain. But these people are using these tactics to break you down. And it's not only me, because this is a tactic they've done to others.
This is the alteration of the smell sensation, so that I am often made to smell various things, including smoke, burning, dirty diaper, or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture, including the threat of planted.
And so you have things like that validates you that this is not only happening to you. This is not a destructive tactic that's just applied onto you. They do that to others. They have this woman calling the pedophilia type of torture. They make her smell baby powder because they can manipulate your sense of smell. And so as I'm saying that, there is this childlike trash, this perp, who, as a child, she's on the spectrum. Oh, no, the tattoo, they're going to rape you, they're going to do this and that. We're going to frame you, we're going to interrupt this. Because these more mature perps are getting tired. It's like, okay, we're not this stupid. We obviously know that, and it's obviously validated. And it's just too stupid to sound like we're not doing anything to make you experience this thing. That we are now using this EEG cloning, EEG heterodyning that you described before you even knew it existed. That you're saying that your brain is being manipulated, and now your brain is reacting in ways that you will not react naturally. Which is a coincidence with what this man is saying, because he's literally saying this technology can manipulate and alter the mind and put it back in your brain. It can capture your neural network, manipulate it, and then put it back in your place in your brain to make you experience the desired reaction of the person manipulating the brain. Then you hear a woman saying they do the pedophilia type of torture. So you already know that the desired reaction is going to be disgusting, because this is quote unquote this offensive information warfare. Validating that they would make you experience the most disgusting reaction towards children, which is more validation of that nature, because other target individual testified about the exact same thing. So the validation are extreme. On top of that, this validation that they torture children. So when they're like, no, but you're gonna pay for what you did as a child. This is our justice. You know, this is people coming from a program or working for a program where they torture children. And they send these children to try to counter reality, because they think if children are coming out and say, you're going to pay, you're going to do this, because they sound like children, you should block out the fact that these children are involved in a program that tortures children. There's a lot of psyop, a lot of retardation, a lot of manipulation, a lot of dumbing themselves down that these people are dedicated to. So you gotta be strong, because they're out here telling me how they're gonna frame me. You might pay. Yes, you might be involved in a program that torture children too. To all my target individuals, stay strong. This low life and trash will get theirs. I'm expecting the worst torture in my life, but I'd rather be tortured in the worst way than live my life contrary to what you just heard. Do not identify with the way they alter your mind. This is what they do. However, they try to make logic of it after that is disgusting and foul, but they're using childlike minded individuals for a purpose. They don't use them for the intellect. They need people to really dumb themselves down. I've seen people much smarter than me, much more smarter than me, seeing them completely turning on any sense of respect for themselves and logic to try to make me accept these things. Never. For me, I'm like, oh, thank you. You know what you make me feel like? A genius. So my target individuals stay strong.